What is going on, everybody? It's the France and we're here for AEW on TBS Review for February the 23rd, 2022. Tonight was a big night for AEW. Tag Team Battle Royal number 1 to decide who is going to be the first of 2 tag team challengers for the Jurassic Express at Revolution. Bryan Danielson versus Garcia was your main event, with Bryan Danielson after the fact giving his answer to Jon Moxley. Jericho versus the Bunny, which nobody cares about. House of Black, Kings of the Black Throne versus Pac and Penta Obscuro, aka Penta Dark. Ricky Starks versus Dark Order's 10 in a Face of the Revolution qualifier. And Eddie Kingston and Chris Jericho go face to face. And we also hear from MJF for the first time since the all-color match was made last week. And oh boy, this was definitely one of the most heartfelt promos I think MJF has ever cut. And yeah, it takes a lot to have somebody like Tony Schiavone change his tune about somebody he hates so much. He hates MJF so much. After this promo was done, Tony Schiavone was singing a different tune about MJF, and we'll talk about that here in a minute. Hopefully AEW put the whole promo up, which they tend to do sometimes. You gotta hear this. So we have a number 1 contenders battle royal to start off the show with the Gun Club, the Young Bucks, Red Dragon, the Best Friends, Private Party, the Butcher and the Blade. I'm missing 4 teams here. Oh yeah, the Dark Order's Alex Reynolds and John Silver. Hopefully Evil Uno and Stu Grayson will be in next week's because they weren't in this one. FTR. No Varsity Blondes either. That was really surprising. Or the Acclaimed, which that's really surprising too. And shoot here. The Gun. Let's see. We had the Young Bucks, Red Dragon, Best Friends, Gun Club. We had Pride and Powerful. Yeah, that was another one. Pride and Powerful. Dark Order, Alex Silver and Alex Reynolds and John Silver. Private Party. We had I can't remember the last team or so. Oh yeah, 2.0. That's what I was missing. 2.0 and Pride and Powerful. It was a pretty good tag team one. Of course, this is not a WWE tag team battle royal where only one member needs to be eliminated, which is fucking stupid. Both members need to be eliminated, and that played into the finish, the ending of this match. You had one member of Dark Order, you had one member of the Young Bucks, one member of Red Dragon, one member of FTR, one member of Pride and Powerful. The final 6 were Matt Jackson, John Silver, Santana, Dax Harwood, I think, the bald one. Cash Wheeler is one with the head, right? Dax Harwood, what's his name? Trent Beretta, and shit. I can't remember who the final one, Riley. It was Kyle Riley. Okay, Kyle Riley, Trent Beretta, Matt Jackson, Dax Harwood, John Silver, and Santana. Those were your final 6. Everyone else doesn't really matter. Everyone else. It was just the final 6. So everyone gets knocked down. You have Santana, and on Santana, my God, he decided that tonight he was going to become a meme. You have Colton Gunn sitting there doing something. Santana walks up behind him, leans to the side, gets a big smile on his face, and then thumbs up to the camera, and then eliminates him. Saw that picture everywhere. I was cracking up from the minute it happened. It was so fucking hilarious. Santana is definitely we must protect Santana completely, because my God, that was hilarious. So everyone else gets knocked down. Trent Beretta and Santana are left standing. The crowd is going apeshit crazy for this because everyone remembers the epic street fight, the parking lot brawl Santana Ortiz and Best Friends had in Daly's place during the Scamdemic. So they start going back and forth, and the crowd is doing the ooh and ah, ooh and ah. Of course, the other ones get involved. They eventually end up on the apron. They're fighting each other. Matt and Kyle O'Reilly both knock them over at the same time after they beat the shit out of each other on the apron. So you're down to John Silver, Dax Harwood, and Matt and Kyle. So Dax is on the apron with Kyle O'Reilly. They're fighting. John Silver and Matt are in the other corner. They're all fighting. They're fighting. They're trying to do something. Bobby Fish, I didn't know. You noticed it eventually that Bobby Fish is trailing on the outside. He's looking around, just picking his moment. He eventually kicks Dax in the bottom of the leg, sending him out with down to 3. Matt and Kyle are teaming up on John. John gets his, big moment, his comeback as if it was a normal tag match. He gets his hot tag moment, just goes apeshit banana. Crowd is fucking loving it, every single part of it. Then comes down to the finish. Kyle goes to pick up John, but he's like, "Oh shit, my arm! Oh shit, you go get him! You go get him!" Matt takes John, throws him out of the ring. Kyle immediately takes Matt and throws him over the ring ropes. And that is that. Red Dragon makes it to Revolution. They are the first of 2 challengers for the tag team champions at the pay-per-view. After the match, they get up, like, the Bucks get in the ring. They're arguing back and forth. It's like, what the fuck, man? We had a deal. We're going to do this. Like, all of a sudden, after they argue for a bit, Hangman Adam Page's music hits. He storms to the ring, and he starts beating up on Red Dragon. The Bucks sit around. They just don't do anything, and then they're like, you know what? This ain't our fight. You go right ahead. We're out of here. They said last week they didn't beat up on Hangman last week because it's like beating a dead horse. They've done it time and time again. So they're like, you know what? We don't care. These aren't our friends. These are Cole's friends, not ours. So you guys go right ahead. So next week we will have a casino battle royal, which I don't know why we need a casino battle royal, but whatever. And I wonder how they're going to do this. Will the Bucks, and there's going to be 10 teams probably. Is like the Bucks going to be in the final draw, and like the ones who got eliminated early will be in the first draw for the casino battle royal? I don't know. But Page beats them up, and then Adam Cole comes from behind, tries for a super kick, and Page blocks that. He starts beating on this guy. He's getting ready to do a buckshot lariat to Adam Cole, but Red Dragon pulls him out. John Silver is still around ringside, does a cannonball to Red Dragon, throws Kyle O'Reilly in. I love the way Kyle sells this. He gets up, he's all spaghetti legs, he turns around, eats a buckshot lariat. Boom, he's out of here. So, Adam Page gets a mic, sits down, he's like, it's time for story time with Adam Hangman Page, baby. He talks about how Adam Cole's entire journey in professional wrestling, winning championships every single place he goes, and says Cole never realized he was moving closer and closer to a 6-foot hole in the ground, and says Cole taking one step closer to the grave, and the better Adam will hit him with a buckshot and send him and bury him 6 feet under at Revolution. So, and just, I love Bobby Fish when every time Adam Page says something, they pan back to the guys, and Bobby Fish is saying, "Oh, come on!" And he's saying something. It's like he'll win that title at Revolution. He's saying other things, and it's just going along, and he's like reacting while Kyle is recovering from the buckshot, and Adam Cole just has that like I'm pissed as fuck face on him. It was just fucking awesome. So that's the main event of Revolution. I cannot wait. Backstage, Tony Schiavone interviews Bryan Danielson. He said he's going to show Daniel Garcia the difference between mentors, as he had a great mentor in William Regal, because, Daniel Garcia reminds him a lot of his younger self. But I had William Regal, and he has 2.0. So tonight I will show you what it means to have a good mentor compared to your guys at 2.0. And Moxley, after that match tonight, you said that we can't fight together until we bleed together. I will have an answer for you tonight. MJF hits the ring. This was great. And the crowd, extra points for booing the shit out of him the entire time. This felt, I don't know how much of this was a shoot, but it feels like a lot of it was because I can believe each and every one of this. So the volume is up all the way. There we go. Down comes CM Punk. No music, no fanfare, no nothing. Wearing a Dave or something, some t-shirt, some sweater, and he asks him, is it true? Is it true? Is it real? MJF does not answer and just leaves to a chorus of boos. Awesome promo. Awesome. Is it real? Some of it most likely. I mean, yes, he is Jewish, and yes, they do. Jewish kids do, when they're young, get picked on. A lot. This is what it is. So it's very interesting to see that MJF, if it's all a shoot, him go down that road for sure. This was, I mean, yeah, CM Punk going out there and yeah, I could definitely see somebody like an MJF or anybody. They say don't meet your heroes, don't work with your heroes, but going from having last week being told that autograph signing meant nothing to CM Punk, that would piss me off too. Somebody who you looked up to, and that was just another Friday to him. I could see that being absolutely the truth of being just how that would piss him off and eat him up inside for a full week, being told that, wow, that was a big day for me. That was you were my hero. That was a big day. I could see that. Is it all true? We'll probably find out next week. If he made any of it up, we'll have to wait and see. But really well done. The fact that CM Punk came out, not even dressed to be out there, and he just walks out there with this conflicted look on his face dude, was all that true? Does that really mean that much to you? Damn, was I a fool? But we don't know. If it could be I think it's half and half. Half real, half shoot, I don't know. But MJF crying in tears, emotion on his sleeve, and the crowd didn't give a shit. They just wanted to boo this man. They didn't believe a word he was saying, and it just worked out pretty well. Next up, we had the Kings of the Black Throne versus Pac and Penta Oscuro. Oscuro is black in Spanish. So Kings of the Black Throne come out. Pac comes out. Pac gets on the corner and just puts his hand out and waves his tag team partner to come. Lights go down. Lights went down a lot in this entire thing here. Just a lot of flickering the lights. But lights go down. New music for Penta. And they have fucking Alex dressing like a what do you call that? He looked like a what do you want to call it? A guy in he was in a robe. He looked like somebody from a cult. And Penta just comes up from behind this gravestone that says Penta Oscuro on it. The only thing that looks different really for Penta, the paint under his mask looks the same. The only thing that looks different is he has horns. I think if he was going to go Penta Black, Penta Oscuro, the paint on his face would have been black. I think that would have made it a little bit better. Black with maybe a little bit of red in the middle for a little goatee looking thing. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know what the difference between Penta Oscuro and Penta El Zero Miedo is. Honestly, I don't know. It just didn't feel. I mean, he hit 2 super kicks to Kings of the Black Throne, followed up with a dive on the outside. Bell rings. Pac starts the match against Black. Pac hits a powerful 450, but that's not enough to win. Pac takes Penta out, tags Penta in, who hits a series of leg strikes on Black. Penta gets Black into the corner, and he gets Pac back into the ring. Pac and Penta are staying on Black, giving him no opportunity to tag in Brody King. Brody King is finally in the match and hammers Pac and goes for the cover. Pac kicks out, but King remains on him with strikes. King gets Pac into his corner and sticks his foot in the neck. Black tags in and hits Pac with a series of leg strikes. Black and King exchange frequent tags to help Pac isolate from Penta. Match is coming to a close soon. Penta lands a crossbody on King to take him down. All 4 men are down and the ref begins to count. Black's the first to get to his feet and they attempt a double team maneuver. Pac hits King with a pump kick to the jaw, but it's not enough to take him down. A second one is still unable to take him off his feet. Finally, King hits the German suplex to take him down. However, Black makes a tag without the other two realizing. They go for the foot stomp, for the package power driver foot stomp combo that you see the Lucha Bros do. But Black made his tag. He goes and he grabs Penta. Penta puts his hand over Black's mouth, stopping the mist. Penta uses this distraction to roll him up for the 1, 2, 3. Pac and Penta Oscuro pick up the win. And honestly, you weren't going to have Penta bring out his Oscuro or his Black version and not have them win, obviously. It's not the full story, though, as after the match, Brody King ambushes Penta from behind. Total beatdown. Of course, Black's in the corner on the mat, just writhing in pain because he went to mist, but he had to swallow it instead. That had to suck. King takes his attention to Pac and stomps him in the corner, but Black brings Penta's shovel into the ring after drinking some water to get that mist taste out of his mouth. He puts it on Penta's neck, lays it up to go stab down. Lights go out. Lights come back on. Buddy Matthews is in the ring. Buddy Matthews has made his AEW debut. Buddy Matthews is all elite and right where he fucking belongs. So Black, who looks like he's seen a ghost, he's on his side. He's on the ground, on his butt, on his side, just watching in like a little bit of fear-ish. He's playing up fear. Buddy Matthews is circling around. He's saying things. Then all of a sudden, pump kick to Pac. Then Matthews stomps at Penta in the corner as well. King take on the Legion security. Well, Brody King rushes down as the security's coming down, and he just levels these guys. My God. House of Black is tearing through everyone. Black sets up a chair, and he says something to Matthews. We don't hear anything. He smacks him a couple times, like telling him something, giving him instructions. So Matthews grabs Penta by the arms, takes his boot, and smashes him face first into the steps, into the chair. And that was how the segments ended. Really, really good segment right there. Definitely was great. Great to see Buddy Matthews get his shot in All Elite Wrestling. And he's with his old rival, Mr. Malachi Black. Now, the only thing that I could see why they would do this is because maybe Phoenix is back by Revolution and maybe you get a 6-man tag, but no. As far as I know, Phoenix won't be back till the end of March. So, I'm sure we will eventually get a match between these guys. The Death Triangles versus the House of Black. But I just don't see them doing anything with I don't see them being able to have this 6-man match until Phoenix gets back. I can't wait to see what Matthews does in AEW. Now, I know we have Kings of the Black Throne with Brody King and Malachi Black. What will this do? Well, they be the I know a lot of people want to see Malachi and Brody do their own thing as single stars as well, not just have these guys stuck as a tag team. What are they gonna I don't know. I don't know what's gonna happen. Matthews makes his debut. Maybe we'll have a match with him next week to see what he can do and what he man. And this is the crazy thing. Buddy Matthews is on the same roster as a Bryan Danielson, and those two had a banger in WWE a couple years ago. I want to see them have another match. Absolutely. Now, the question with all of this is Malachi, Brody, Matthews. What about Julia Hart? What are they going to do with that? She's been wearing the eye patch this entire time. Her attitude has changed. She doesn't wear her cheerleading outfit when the Varsity Blondes come out. She comes out with her jacket on and some jeans on. She waves to the crowd. She's not her usual self. She's got an attitude. Are we going to pay that off, or is that something else? I don't know. So we have the Eddie Kingston and Chris Jericho promo off, pretty much. And this was great too. Eddie Kingston's just fantastic. Chris Jericho's great as well when he wants to be serious. Eddie's like, man, I don't know why we're doing this. This is a wrestling company. This isn't a sports entertainment company. He says, if you want to do that, go down the block. Jericho does say they are down the road from Stanford, but he guarantees this sports entertainment will actually be entertaining, which the crowd was like, oh, shit. He says he's never heard of Kingston before, because when Eddie Kingston was making his... And it's funny because last week, Cody just left AEW. They mentioned Cody and Brody Lee's match. In the dog collar match, when they mentioned the dog collar match, when it was signed. This week, Jericho is like, I saw your match with what's his face. No mention of Cody at all. They just threw Cody's name. Is gone. He is persona non grata now after a week being gone. And heard his promo for that match and said, this guy is good. He has something special in him. I told you a few days ago that you're going to be a big baby face because the crowd is going to love you, which is absolutely true. Eddie Kingston is going to be very hard to make a heel in AEW because people relate to Eddie Kingston because Eddie Kingston is fucking real. This is a guy that people can relate to on so many different fucking levels. How to get that guy to be a heel is going to be very hard. Jericho, you can make a heel real easily. Just stop using Judas. Say, sing along with Judas is over. As a matter of fact, Judas is gone and Jericho could be a heel like that. Now, he was a little heelish in this because he did get personal with Eddie Kingston. Because he said Eddie Kingston looked up to failure. He looked up to his uncle was a failure. Looked up to his dad was a failure. And now Eddie himself feels like he's a failure as well. And he also mentioned how he thought they were talking about Eddie Edwards when Eddie Kingston was coming in. Because everybody else was happy the fact that Eddie Kingston was in, but Jericho never heard of him, which I'm like, bitch, you are totally lying. Everyone knows who Eddie Kingston is. Eddie Kingston's been all over the place, and I've seen Eddie. The first time I saw Eddie Kingston was Impact Wrestling. Absolutely the first time. And it wasn't the LAX one. It was actually when him and James Storm were doing that TikTok, whatever the fuck that shit was. But that was like a small taste of Eddie Kingston. And then he did the LAX stuff with Proud and Powerful, Santana with Proud and Powerful and Homicide Hernandez and Conan. Those promos that promo with Conan was fantastic. Then he was in the NWA in 2019, early 2020, and then he made his way to AEW where he is now. So Jericho said the reason he hadn't heard of Eddie Kingston because he looked like a jobber. And honestly, Eddie Kingston, if you look at him, yeah, he looks like the guy that back in the 80s who would be on the end of a leg drop from Hogan or an elbow drop from Savage, or in the 90s, a powerbomb from Diesel or a Razor's Edge from Razor Ramon and so on and so forth. Yeah, that's what Eddie Kingston. He just looks like the guy off the street that they're like, hey, if you want to take a bump, we'll pay you $500. That's what Eddie Kingston looks like. That's why people love Eddie Kingston. Because he can talk, he can go out there and he does look like somebody that, hey, if this guy can do it, maybe this person can do it. He does have that look. But he says, I didn't give two shits about your sob story. Jericho says Kingston is jealous of him because he made it to the big times when he was 22. By the time Jericho was 38, he was already main evented pay-per-views and been world champion, while Eddie Kingston was 38 years old when he made it to the big time. Jericho says Kingston knows deep down he could never be at his level. Kingston says he doesn't care about what Jericho's saying. Kingston says Jericho main evented all those main events because he wasn't there. He says he's not like the others that lie. Kingston says he's going to do this by his way and be himself until he dies. He says Jericho's sucking the blood out of him. And I don't want to talk to you anymore. I want to fight. How about me and you at the pay-per-view? Jericho says, one of the biggest things that's holding Eddie Kingston back is he is afraid and terrified to make it to the top and level he is on because he'll fall off right after. He claims Kingston would fall if he ever made it to the top. He brings up Kingston's uncle and father, who claims are both failures. He says deep inside, Kingston feels he's a failure and can't win the big one. He says, here in AEW, I'm the big one. Not Moxley, not Danielson, not Punk, not the world champion, me. The influencer, Le Champion, the man who's pretty much made any catchphrase as much as he can over, can make a bottle of fucking bubbly out of thin fucking air. But if he beats him at the pay-per-view, he will look him in the eye, shake his hand, and give him his utmost respect. Kingston says he wants the version of Jericho that won the AEW title, was the first champion. Not the Mimosa guy, not this goofball guy, the guy who gave Jericho that guy that your best friend Levesque hated. Jericho says Kingston will get that and more. Kingston is always a loser and will never win the big one. I did a terrible job highlighting that. They don't have it on YouTube, which I would play it if I could. But this was fantastic. Jericho and Kingston is going to be good. I can't wait for this show. Revolution, and I'll talk about this all in a minute, man. Revolution is just awesome. It's going to be great, and I can't wait to see how far we go. Face of Revolution qualifying match, Ricky Starks versus Dark Order's 10. It was a decent match. Most of it was in commercial, which it sucks. But I liked the way that Ricky Starks won. Ricky Starks did win this match. 10 looked like he was going to lock in that Full Nelson. He was going to get the win. He locks it in completely, but Starks was able to get his hand down and rip the mask to break the hold. Don't see that too often. Goes and hits bounces off the rope, gets the momentum, and hits the big spear. 1, 2, 3, and Ricky Starks is in the match. So we got 3 big boys and 1 little boy. And we're going to have another little boy when it comes to the match, because we do have a Face of Revolution ladder match qualifier this coming Friday. Backstage, Young Bucks accuse Red Dragon of double-crossing them. They still have a chance to find their way into the title match. Adam Cole says they need to get along with the Young Bucks because he has a lot on his plate. Get your shit together. Trust them. He's just telling them to trust them. And just like, Adam Cole is just trying to serve 2 tag teams and be friends with 2 tag teams. It's not going to work. This is all going to spill over the minute Kenny Omega comes back. The minute Kenny Omega comes back, this is all going to spill over. Worthless waste of time. Jade Cargill versus the Bunny. I'm just going to put it to you blank. This match sucked. The crowd was dead. The crowd had been hot for the majority of the night. The crowd died in this match. And the crowd did not wake back up until Mark Sterling and Matt Hardy, who came down to support the Bunny. And so basically, he threw in the Nux. Mark Sterling threw in the title. Bunny used the Nux and hit the title because Jade Cargill, used it on her. Both guys got ejected. That was the only time the crowd actually got up. And then, of course, Jade won, even though it was like, the good thing about this was majority of this match was in commercial. The bad thing is it had to even be a thing. And then she, on the mic after the match, utters the one line I knew she was eventually going to get to: who's next? And it just solidifies what I figured was happening. Tony Khan is booking this woman to be his version of Goldberg. We all know how much Tony Khan loves the good stuff about WCW. And we all know one of those high points in 1998 was Goldberg. So you know that Tony Khan, whether it was going to be a male or a female, was going to book somebody like that. And that's what you got here. Tay Conti comes down. She says she's going to be the one to beat her ass. She comes down to fight her. The Bunny's still there, attacks her. She takes out the Bunny. Jade Cargill takes her out, and that match is set for Revolution. If Tay Conti doesn't beat her for that championship at Revolution, you might as well burn the title. You might as well melt that title down, give her a TBS necklace that stands for That Bitch Show, and move on, because the title is fucking worthless. We move on to our main event here, Bryan Danielson versus Daniel Garcia. I was like, holy shit, you're giving us this match now. Daniel Garcia, Bryan Danielson, damn good stuff. Daniel Garcia is a future heavyweight future AEW champion. Whether it's the end of 2022 or in 2023, this man is going to be a champion. Him and Bryan Danielson went out there. I wish we wouldn't have had that TBS title because you could have taken that time and gave it to these two. Plain and simple. If we would have went from the Eddie Kingston stuff, from the Dark Order, from the Face of the Revolution ladder match qualifier into this match, would have been a so much better show. The show was good tonight. Absolutely good. But these guys were hitting each other hard. They just wanted to go at each other. Of course, Bryan Danielson wants to see violence from his opponents. Wants them to hit them as hard as he's hitting them. Daniel Garcia was much obliged to that. There was a point in this match where they had the Greco-Roman knuckle lock on each other, and the test of strength, and they're just fucking elbowing each other back and forth. Of course, that was towards the end of the match because Bryan Danielson was able to knock him down, hold his arms, and start stomping away, and then put him in into the triangle for the win, obviously. But these two just chop blocks and chops and just wow. Half crab, punishing strikes, heel hook, both men get to the feet. Danielson hits a tiger suplex, into the cattle mutilation, which, man, Garcia slapped him. They get a series of stomps to the face. Danielson wins with the triangle sleeper. 2.0, Danielson gets on the mic and says, Garcia, that's exactly what I wanted to see tonight. Did he pass? I don't know why he keeps asking the fans, because he insults the fans. But before he can do that, 2.0 ambushes him. Jon Moxley storms the ring, sends 2.0 reeling. Garcia tries to smash Moxley with the chair, but Danielson stops that. Death Rider from Moxley to Garcia. I know it's called the Paradigm Shift in AEW, but I like the Death Rider. The Death Rider name just sounds so much better. Danielson gets on the mics and he brings up the comments, and it's like, so before we can fight side by side, we must bleed together. And he says, you want a match at Revolution? You got it. But don't be surprised if you're the only one bleeding. Danielson, the last time you had a big match, and it was on the first of this year, the first Wednesday of this year, you and Hangman Page were both bleeding. So I expect blood in this match. I expect hell in this match. I expect these two to go out there and hurt each other. Also, in a backstage segment, Matt Hardy, Andrade, and Isaiah Cassidy will challenge. Well, Matt Hardy challenged Sting, Darby, and Sammy Guevara to a trios tornado tag match because Andrade allowed Isaiah Cassidy to get a pin on Dark Elevation in a 10-man tag match with the rest of the AHFO. Jeff Hardy's non-compete is coming up in about 2 weeks. I believe the day after my birthday, which is, of course, Wednesday, March 9th, I believe is the last day of his non-compete. So, Jeff Hardy could be showing up in AEW on the 16th. Or, that's the crazy thing. If they really want to, and they want to tape something for Jeff Hardy on the 11th, I think they could do that. Because, I don't know. But Jeff Hardy will be coming to AEW very soon. So the AHFO needs to be wrapping up very soon. With Andrade kicking... Well, Matt Hardy needs to be kicking Private Party to the curb. And then Matt Hardy needs to be kicked to the curb himself. And then comes back with his brother Jeff to help destroy the Andrade office. Whatever they want to call it. Outside of the TBS title, which was an absolute fucking joke of a match... Really good show tonight. AEW is just firing. We're back to that firing on all cylinders. I know, and I'm sure I'm not the only one who thinks this, but when they have that big stretch between pay-per-views, which is fine, it does feel like they do start simmering down. But when they get close to that pay-per-view, they start ramping up, and it feels like we're at that point where it's going to be a damn, my God, Revolution is stacked. Women's title. Thunder Rosa becomes the AEW Women's Champion. This is why I say DMD stands for delusional, moronic, dumbass. Or dumb bitch in this case. She literally asked, is Thunder Rosa a star? I don't know. You tell me when Thunder Rosa walks out there every single night. She's out there. She gets the biggest reaction. She gets the biggest pop. People are chanting her name through her matches. Nobody gives a shit about you anymore. They haven't given a shit about you in 9 months. Thunder Rosa wins the title at Revolution. I don't give a fuck what anyone says. I'm pretty sure on one of the last Bryan and Vinny shows, Bryan Alvarez was like, I know this match is happening at Revolution, but they're not okay with her beating Britt Baker. I'm like, what? Are you out of your mind? Baker needs to lose that title tomorrow. So she's going to lose. She needs to lose that title at Revolution. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. But man, if you look at Revolution, Adam Cole versus Adam Hangman Page, CM Punk versus MJF, Bryan Danielson versus Jon Moxley. Those matches alone. And then you look at WrestleMania in 2 months. Johnny Knoxville versus Sami Zayn. Oh my God. Ugh. The Mysterios versus Miz and Logan Paul. Ugh. Becky versus Bianca. Ugh. Ronda versus Charlotte. Ugh. Roman versus Brock. Meh. We've seen it so many times, it's not even funny. There is and apparently, maybe, just maybe, Happy Corbin versus Drew McIntyre. There ain't nothing on that show that's going to be worth a damn. Outside of Roman versus Brock, nobody should give a shit about WrestleMania. Just look at the two cards, where they stand right now with the fact that Revolution is going to be happening. And what you have right now at WrestleMania. And you can see, if I had to go and pay money to go see one of these shows, I'm going to Revolution, baby. I'm not going to WrestleMania. It's just so, crazy that a so-called t-shirt company that everyone thought was dead without Cody, what's his face, is going to have one of the best shows of the fucking year in 2 weeks. But that's just how idiots think. But that is your AEW on TBS review. Damn good show outside of, the one thing. Hit that subscribe button, comment down below, like or dislike this video. Find me on Minds at the Friends Club. Find me on twitch.tv/the Friends Club. And find me on Instagram at the Friends Club. And I will see you guys on Friday for SmackDown and Rampage at its normal time, 10/9 Central. Until then, my name is the Franz, and I'll see you guys later.